Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, from Abuja to Lagos to London. This is the Market Color brought to you by the Value Flow Trading team, and we're pleased to have you all here on this beautiful Monday Market Color session. Today being the 30th of March 2026, we're excited to commence the day with a quick rundown on an analysis for your major currency pairs. We're going to be doing a top-down analysis for these pairs, and we're going to also be showing you the possible trades that we intend to take today. So welcome once again. This is the Market Color brought to you by the Value Flow Trading team. My name is CJ, and alongside me is the Value Flow Trading team from Lakon, Oshiemi, we have Demola right here, we have Cynthia, and we have Abby. While this Market Color is going on, we urge each and every one of you to pay keen attention so that you wouldn't miss out on any of the valuable information we're going to be sharing with you this morning. So without further ado, let's move straight into the chart as we commence the Market Color, kicking off our analysis with a quick top down on gold. Now, looking at gold this morning, gold is coming off from a very strong rejection we saw last week Monday when it traded into 4,000 region and below. Right now, we're seeing that it rejected after it started into that region, which was somewhere around here, 4,100, and then it ran into this 4,500 region once again. Now, at this point, we are having mostly bearish momentum or bearish bias on gold and we're expecting further sales to the downside. However, seeing that price is heavily discounted after that forceful move that ran from last week into Monday morning, last week, we're expecting a quick retracement into some of these places we highlighted earlier. One of the All right, sorry about that break. Information due to a technical issue, but it's been resolved so far. So continuing on our analysis on gold, seeing what is happening this morning based on our Okay, sorry about that. So seeing what is happening this morning on gold based on our initial projection, which is a form of retracement. So on the 4-hour time frame, I'm looking out more for a buy on gold into those regions that we highlighted, one of which is somewhere around this level here on 4,800 price point. So for gold this morning, I'm expecting a buy, and then this is my target for at least in midweek. So let's go over to the 1-hour time frame so that we can see what the 1-hour time frame is offering us. Now, if you look at the 1 hour, and it looks like price is heading to the upside. Okay, so for the 1 hour, we've seen that it has shifted structure already, and then it is already creating structure for the upward movement. So I'm very bullish already on gold on the 1 hour time frame. And then finally on the 15-minute time frame, you can see that it has started breaking structure and it's giving proper retracement. At this point, any good retracement I see, I'll be taking a buy on gold. For instance, you can see that this region here came and took out this old high around here. Right now, price is 9 minutes time frame. I have 2 points of interest for the buy. First is this region right here. If I see gold tracing into this region, I'll be taking the buy from here, and I'll be taking it all the way to the upside. So this is the first place I want to take a buy from on gold. And then the second place will be somewhere around this 61.8 and 50. You can see a very tiny fair value gap price here where price is currently tapping into. If I see any reversal signature, if I see any candlestick formation that shows that the reversal is taking place, I'll be taking my buy from here. Talking about candlestick formations, we want to see something like a bullish engulfing or an evening star pattern, right? A morning star pattern rather. Once I see any of these two form around here, I'll be taking a buy on gold all the way to the upside. This is what I'm expecting to play out for gold this morning. Okay, now let's switch over to the yen basket so that we can analyze GBP, and USD. Now, looking at the yen basket, like we analyzed earlier, we're expecting a bullish run on the yen basket all the way to this level, which is the 50% level, and then we're expecting it to sell off to the downside afterwards. This morning, you can see how it started with a strong momentum to the upside, and it looks like it's following our analysis so far. All right, and this is all we have on the yen basket. It makes it very clear when we analyze the yen basket on a higher time frame. This way it gives us clarity on what we're expecting on the yen pair. So for the yen basket, we're expecting bullish run, and we're seeing that this Monday morning has started with such, and we're expecting sales on GBP, JPY, and Euro JPY. Okay, so we're going to switch over to them so that we can see possible trades that we're going to take JPY. So on the 4-hour time frame, we're looking forward to a possible retracement, but we do not expect price to trade all the way to that other block, but we're expecting to see how price is going to retrace properly on the 4-hour time frame. So that is for the 4-hour time frame. One of the places we're expecting could be this low right here, because for GBP JPY, knowing how it moves, it might not give you this particular this is where we're expecting GBP to retrace to, which is right here. Okay. All right. So back to GBP JPY, because we're not rounded up our analysis there. Okay, so for GBP JPY, we're expecting it to retrace to somewhere around there. On the 1-hour time frame, internet this morning, which is the lowest point during the Asian session. So a quick retracement into here, and we'll be looking for a sell to the downside. So from here, I want to see price just give me a quick retracement. I'll be selling because this last move was so strong, and we're expecting a quick retracement around that region we just marked. So first one is this breakout block, I'll call it, or a mitigation block here, and then the second is here. So any of these 2 points, if I see GBP JPY retracing to here or here, I'll be taking myself to the downside. So either of these two give me a good sell-off for GBP JPY to the downside. And for Euro JPY, I'm expecting pretty much the same thing. Already you can see that we've kickstarted the day with a sell on GBP, on Euro JPY rather. So we're expecting a continuation of that. And if price is going to retrace, we're expecting a retracement somewhere around this region. As it retraces around here, we'll be taking our sell again on Euro JPY. So if you're late on the sell, you can get an entry from somewhere around here. I'll be riding the sell all the way to take out this low at first, and then the second point will be to take out this low. All right, so these are the two places we're expecting a GBP JPY sell off from, and also a Euro JPY sell off from. Now we're going to move over to analysis on the dollar, where we're going to be sharing with you the things we're expecting on the dollar and the dollar related pairs like Euro, USD, and GBP, USD. And to share that insight with us, we'll be having Cynthia this morning to share her analysis with us. Good morning, Cynthia.
Good morning, CJ. Good morning, everyone. Again, welcome to today's market color session. That was such an insightful analysis from CJ. I hope you're taking note of every price point being called out here during this analysis. And heading straight to the US dollar on the weekly time frame, we've been looking at this point of interest. I usually like to start this analysis from the weekly time frame. We're looking at the box pattern residing right here on the weekly time frame, shoulder at 107.490, sweep to the upside, break to the downside. We want to see price returning right back into this left shoulder. And once that happens, we want to keep selling the dollar to the downside, heading straight to the daily time frame. Let's see what price is doing. We can spot that the most recent price action seems to be bullish, and of course, there's another classic And of course, there's another classic box pattern for the buy of DXY, establishing the fact that we want to buy. There's the box pattern right here at 97.912, shoulder sweep break. Once price returns into this left shoulder at 97.912, I want to keep buying dollar on daily time frame. However, on 4-hour time frame, let's see what price has for us. On 4-hour time frame, we've seen that the previous high right here has taken out, right? So what do we want to keep doing on the dollar? We want to keep buying the dollar even into the rest of this week. I beg your pardon. We want to keep buying the dollar. Let's see if we can spot any entry on the much lower time frames. On the 5 minutes time frame, I can spot an entry right here. Shoulder at 99.911, sweep to the downside, break to the upside. I want to long the dollar once price returns right back into the left shoulder, residing at 99.911. Right, so my bias for dollar this morning and into the rest of this week is a buy. We're expecting a very strong dollar. We want to go bullish on DXY. Let's see what Euro USD has for us. On the weekly time frame, as seen right here, we still want to see a sell-off into 1.06629. Why? Because there's the classic box pattern sliding right here. Shoulder sweep break. Once price returns into this level, I want to buy Euro USD on the weekly time frame. However, looking at the fact that we want to sell to buy, let's just to the daily time frame to see what price has for us. Daily time frame seems to be bearish. This low right here at 1.15876 has been taken out. We've even seen price retest this low that has been swept. So we want to keep looking out for sell opportunities on Euro USD. To the much lower time frame, such as the 1-hour time frame, the most recent price action is very much bearish. And of course, my point of interest as to where I want to take profit, my first take profit will be at 1.14519. I want to take profit once price sweeps the low right here at 1.14519, and my second take profit will be the low residing at 1.14176. And on the 5 minutes time frame, right, I can actually spot an entry right here on the 5 minutes time frame. Once price returns into this level, 1.15345, I want to short Euro USD. Please take note of this point of interest that we're calling out. Once price retraces into 1.15345, I want to sell Euro USD. I'm looking out for sell opportunities to short this currency pair. I want to sell Euro USD. I'm looking out for a buy on DXY. On GBP USD being the last pair on my list, the weekly time frame, I usually would love to start from the weekly time frame. There's the classic box pattern right here. I'm looking out for a sell to buy. I want to sell into 1.24817, and once price gets there, I want to buy. Of course, the reason being that there's the classic box pattern right here at 1.124817, shoulder sweep break. Once price returns into this level, I want to take buy positions on GBP USD on the weekly time frame. Heading straight to the daily time frame, right? The low right here, the low at 1.33479 has been taken out, right? So we're looking out for sell opportunities. The most recent price action on daily time frame is actually bearish. Everything we're concerned with into this week on GBP USD is actually sell opportunities. Sell opportunities, nothing else. We want to sell GBP USD on 15 minutes time frame. There's a classic box pattern right here. There's an entry, right? So we're going to wait for price. You can set your pending order. We're going to wait for price to retrace right back into 1.33176 on the 15 minutes time frame for GBP USD, and we will be shorting GBP USD. Take note of this price point if you want to set your pending order. Set your pending order so that once price gets there, you will be right on time to take sell opportunities in the market. With that being said, we'll be heading straight to the synthetics market to see what price is doing and the opportunities we can take from there. Lekon will be handling that. Lekon, what are you seeing in the synthetics market this morning?
Good morning. Thank you very much, Cynthia. Thank you so much for giving us a very deep insight on where the dollar is going and what we should be expecting to do. As a matter of fact, some of your markups this morning are what I'm also seeing over here too, because I want to take opportunity of what you've done. All right, so far so good for the synthetic market. We are going to be starting with VIX30 1S index this morning. Now, if you look at VIX30 index 1S this morning, sometimes in the month of February, we've been expecting a price to trade all the way to take out this liquidity point in February, and just few days ago, few weeks ago, we see how that price came all the way to take out that liquidity point. And right now, we expect that the liquidity point has been taken out. So we want price to retrace all the way back down because we have a boss pattern somewhere here. You can see how we have the sweep of liquidity, break of market structure, liquidity point again, and price came to take it out. Now that we already see price moving all the way back up, what are we looking out to see? Because this last swing that took out this structure here did not really break this high, so it's still telling us that this sell is invoked and there's high probability for price to come further and take out this low again. However, looking at this last swing here, this massive buy, I'm of the opinion that if we go to our lower time frame from the 1 hour time frame, if you agree with me, if you look at it from 4 hour, let's start from the 4 hour time frame, you are going to agree with me that we have some level of structure inside of that zone. Outright, I expect price to still pull back a little bit more sales to the downside, and in a nutshell, this is what I'm expecting to see. This is what I'm expecting to see on the VIX30 index. So I want to see how that price is going to give us something like this, like how that price is going to give us something very simple this way, creating a sell, then we move all the way back up. All right, so that is going to be it for me. Price pulling back, then we see it returning back up again if all things being equal. But for if price did not really get to that point, then it may just pull back a little bit more and continue its push to the downside. But in a nutshell, I'm expecting some level of reaction at this shoulder level, as we see that there is even some confluence around that zone. If you watch it well, we have our fair value gap just around that shoulder region. So that is giving us a confluence at that particular zone, which is this fair value gap that we have marked out at this point. So when price tapped into that shoulder and even to that fair value gap, we are looking for opportunity to long a little bit more all the way to the upside. So this is going to be it for VIX31S. All right, let's quickly take it a little bit further to 75.1S. What are we seeing on 75.1S? Now, for VIX75.1S, you are going to agree with me that for a long while now, price has been in more of a consolidation phase. Price has been in a consolidation phase. However, this consolidation, we've not really tapped proper into the premium. So I'm still expecting price to still push a little bit more further to the upside, right? Now, if you look at it from the 4-hour perspective, you are going to agree with me that we've been seeing higher highs, higher low. That is telling us price is still in a bullish trend all the way to the upside. So where are we looking at to see price retrace into, and we can follow through to the upside again? First, on this 4-hour time frame, I'm of the opinion that there's high probability price retraced at this order block, this 4-hour order block here. But if price pull back a little bit more on the lower time frame, we are going to see some other thing. As a matter of fact, what I'm seeing on this 4-hour order block is that you can see we have a sweep of liquidity somewhere here price has taken out liquidity here, and we have our break of structure around the top here. So when price broke structure here, we expect some level of pullback, and that pullback to take out this liquidity here, so all we call it inducement, and price trading proper into this other block with a confluence of this fair value gap. So when price pull back into this region, we look for our entry signature to long 75.1s with our stop loss just below this low here that we have at this point. Okay, so that is it for 75.1s. That's it for 75.1s. However, I spotted a low probability. Yeah, it's not really that strong, but around this point here, so there's high tendency price will just get here and also react to the upside. Okay, so let's watch out for that too. Any of the trade you take is going to be for you. All right, but if you look at it from that 4-hour perspective, I'm of the opinion if we draw this swing, reason why I'm not really considering this particular entry much is for the fact that is not in the discount zone of the swing. So if you look at it, price is still at the premium zone of the swing. So this is the major zone that we expect it to get to. Yes, we are going to say yes, is in the 50% fib level, which is the equilibrium, right? Entry at the equilibrium point is not really going to be a very strong one, although it can work out well. So that's why I'm of the opinion that when price trades into that point, we should be careful and watch out until we see entry signature properly and don't over leverage on that kind of trade. Okay, so that is for VIX75 1S. And lastly, for VIX75 itself. So for VIX75, if you look at it we are still very much bearish all the way to the downside, and I'm still of the opinion that we are still going to push further to the downside because we've not seen any market structure shift until price takes out this particular region. That is when we are going to consider it a market structure shift. Until price takes out this high, that's when we are going to consider it a market structure shift. As a matter of fact, if price takes out this high and still trade here, we are still in buy region until the whole of this zone is taken out properly and we see a break of market structure, the whole of this zone, until price takes out the whole of this zone. Then we will now consider, okay, we are in a bullish move right now. But if not, that is just there for us. All right, now let's go to the lower time frame. If you look at your lower time frame from 2 hours to be specific, where exactly can we now join this sell? So I'm of the opinion, because we see a very clear bust pattern here. This is the sweep of liquidity, the break of structure, created some liquidity around this zone and broke structure properly to the downside. So I'm of the opinion that price should still come all the way to this particular zone. You can see how that price already take out liquidity here. So I'm expecting price to take out this liquidity point and trade into this shoulder level for a sell. So when price trades into this zone, this is the outlook for this week for VIX75 VIX75 index itself. So I'm waiting to see price trade into this zone, then we can begin to short VIX75 with our stop loss just around this high here. Just have it around that high there, and the target is going to be this low or the daily low. Okay, so this is going to be the target for the sell, this low or the daily low on the 24-hour. If you look at it, where's the daily low? This is the daily low. But if you are targeting the daily low, just make sure when price get to this point, you manage your risk very well, because what I'm seeing around this zone, there's probability price will just sell all the way to this point and turn back to the upside. Okay, so that is all for the synthetic market this morning. VIX75 index, 75.1s and VIX31s. Make sure you trade cautiously and use your proper risk management strategy. All right, so we'll be moving right now to the indices, where we'll have Demola give us some very good insight and what we should expect in the course of the week on the indices market. All right, good morning, Demola. Hello, if you can hear me, Demola, good morning. You are muted.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Yeah, well done. Well done.
Thank you for that analysis on VIX 75. Very quickly, let's look at the markets. It's quite interesting, Leko, you're enjoying this because you're not bothered about what Trump is saying. Can you hear me?
Yes, not really. We are enjoying the market together. Any opportunity you see, you share, we enjoy it together, Demola.
Definitely.
The market has
Definitely.
been so
All right.
troublesome for the past few days here too.
All right. Good morning, everyone, once again. This is Indices Market. We'll be looking at the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, which is the US tech stock, or NAS 100. So you might have it on your own screen. And finally on US 30, Dow Jones. Pretty much last week was quite an interesting one, right? I can remember, yeah, let me even bring this up. This was Monday, and we had a very glorious rally that took out many accounts. I'm sure many people didn't expect this. This was Monday last week, and around 1 p.m. Just a single tweet. We had analysis for sell, and we said we're going to start selling once price get to this particular area, not just this area. Yeah, I remember. And then getting to 1 p.m., just one tweet from Mr. President, everything started rallying to the upside, right? Almost immediately. And then luckily for me, I wasn't on my chart when it happened, so there was no way I could have placed it, even both buy or sell. We just had to, allow the market to do its thing, right? Just one tweet sent gave us about, I think this should be more than 300 pips, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken. All right, yeah, this okay. This is about 240, right? Just in 1 hour. You can see that's the power of Mr. President. And that can still happen even this week, right? Because if you follow the train of thought, the conversation he has been dropping on through that's his social media handle, you will see that he's been saying they will make deals. They are working on deals, and most likely will be getting the matter resolved very soon. That has been his intonation, right? However, Iran on the other flip side is saying that we've not said anything. The deal is not happening anytime soon. Nobody is having discussion with anybody. So that's made the entire conversation quite difficult. And so we are seeing the market selling off despite President Trump trying to, make the rally happen in terms of we are no longer fighting, we are no longer sending any military action. We just want a resolution, right? So the market has been very, very dicey to the downside. It's been bearish, right? As you can see here. Categorically, we can see the market being bearish. In fact, this bearishness, looking on the weekly time frame, I don't expect it to end anytime soon, right? Anytime soon. Let's use our FIB to measure this. And me saying I don't expect it to end anytime soon, it's not that I'm being pessimistic, right? Or being a sadist. I'm just saying that realistically, what is happening on the charts is suggestive of the fact that we might not see this ending anytime soon. Probably price might drop even a little bit into 38.2 level or 50.0 level. This equilibrium level from where we can now start seeing that rally to the upside. As you can see, why I'm not excited about this push is that, look, the same thing happened for the past 4 weeks consecutively, right? The first week, we had a push to the upside and then ended the week being heavily bearish. The second week, the same happened, right? Buyers came in, they did all the media propaganda, market rally a bit to the upside, and then finally we saw a huge drop. The third week, the same. The fifth week, the same. And this is the sixth week. Can anything change? I don't know. But looking at the pattern of what has happened before, most likely we can just see this being repeated once again, right? So that is why I'm not being overly optimistic about this rally we are seeing in the market. Nonetheless, we look at the market for intraday trades. For me now, I'm just actively looking at all the markets, right, to make money from. As it stands, the US market is quite chaotic, except you want to scalp, right? Yeah, I don't advise you take trade on like a swing trade, or even intraday kind of trade might not be what you want to do, because any tweet in about 2-3 minutes can send you to the village, like we used to say, can cause margin call. All right, so from technical analysis, we see this structure has been broken, right? Structure has been broken here, previous structure has been broken, new low has been created, so price is seeking high from which it can sell from. And which high do we see here? We have this here, this fair value gap that has not been filled. It's also reacting up from this fair value gap, right? It can start moving to the downside from this fair value gap. But if you're looking forward to sell, right, then you should be looking at this fair value gap, right? Price can start selling off from this fair value gap, and then of course it's going to create another new low. That being said, let's look at NAS 100. We have similar analysis on NAS 100. As you can see, the same thing. Price has broken previous structure to the downside, a new low has been created, and then where are we looking for price to react from to continue the sell to the downside? This fair value gap, this entire area looks like a good spot for us to trade. Now remember, like I mentioned last week, this market is extremely volatile. Just one tweet can bring you so much money, right? Imagine you're on this buy and then Trump tweeted, you have made money not because you were necessarily a skilled trader, but because Trump just said something that happened to move in your own direction, your own favor, right? So that's why I am in a way advocating that we shift our focus. We can discuss about the market for now, but actively trading, we can shift to currency, or you join Lecom on synthetic trading. All right, that being said, on NAS 100, this is what we have. The market is also still reacting to the fact that the war is ongoing, and then this rally is caused by the fact that we're seeing news tilting towards a positive response about the war, right? There's been ceasefire, there's not been any use of military action, and then talks already from President Trump and the Iranian Prime Minister and their own government. We're looking forward to seeing a good compromise. Hopefully, once there's a compromise that is solid, we'll see the markets react positively. We'll see a proper change of character. For those that trade SMC, you say this is change of character, and then from there you want to see market structure break to the upside, blah 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 to the upside. As you can see, this is nothing. This doesn't look like that, right? Because what is driving the market is actively fundamentals, right? Active fundamentals. So that's why we didn't see all of the change of character, market structure shift to the upside, and then continuation. The market kept selling. Right. Let me repeat myself again. We'll move to the next one, which is US 30 Dow Jones. The same thing. Funnily and interestingly, we had this area marked out. Price just tapped into it, and then boom, to the downside. Right. That's the power of fair value gaps in situations like this. Typically, you expect that price will tap into this other block, blah blah, before it starts selling to the downside, but then just when there's chaos, anything that looks like an area of interest is going to be used, right? There's possibility for price to use fair value gap, other block, and any other thing. All right, that being said, moving on, we have this also now, a break of structure to the downside, and price is currently reacting off of this fair value gap. The moment this fair value gap is being invalidated, the next one that looks really viable for price to start selling off would be this area, 67,048.76 level, right? So we expect price tapping into that level, and then we'll see a sell-off, a continuation to the downside, typically, except there is a news, a tweet from President Trump that signifies that they have they've made a deal officially, from both parties. Then typically expect that this will not hold. The market will shift structure and then start buying to the upside. That being said, this is pretty much what we have today. Any other markup from other currency pair will be dropped in the market caller group. As you know already, I believe you already taking advantage of the setup we drop on a week-on-week basis. All right, the next voice you'll be hearing now will be from Abigail for commodity assets. Hopefully, she has something to really give you in terms of trade today. As for me, I'm sorry, the market is quite chaotic for now, so there's really not much we can do. All right, over to you, Abigail.
What do I see? I currently see, price has been buying. Sorry about that. We had a temporal technical issue, but we are. First here, the price has been buying. Minor structure has pretty much been printing to the upside. We have a major resistance level that is just hovering around here, somewhere around, let's get the specific price point, 1.39331. So this is a major level that I'm currently looking out for. Price could trade into that level, hit resistance, and then give us a deep retracement for either the buy is continued or we just happen to see price hit that resistance and start to change structure with the 4 hours time frame eventually catching up. Now, before I proceed, I know that the chart looks like a lot. You're seeing lots of indicators. You're probably wondering what it is. It is one of our strategies taught at the VFT Academy. So if you do not have these indicators installed on your platform because you're not a student of the VFT Academy, what you want to do is to take note of the specific price points that I'll be calling out. And for those of us who are students, you already know what we do, you already know how it is. Okay. So Sunshine printed resistance here. I'm expecting price to give me a retracement on USD CAD before either the buy is continued or it breaks through and just starts to sell. So let's go on 1 hour time frame to see the specific price levels where price could retrace into. You can see that I have certain horizontal lines drawn on my chart already. These are my 1 hour points of interest. The first one is 1.38170. The second 1.37317, and the third one is 1.36719. These are the 3 major levels that I'm looking out for on USD CAD this morning. Higher time frame, price retrace into the zone, give me confirmational buyers that you're going to hold. I'm going to continue to buy USD CAD from there. Now, because of where price currently is and the gap between where it is and where it could retrace into, I'm interested in taking a counter trade. So when I see certain confirmations on the lower time frame, I could take a quick scalp of USD CAD from where my confirmational bias is printed, and my take profit level will be somewhere around this trend. Yeah, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's finish the overall directional bias first. So M5 time frame, you see that I have marked out even more specific price points. These are support and resistance levels that could, act as support and resistance, basically. So this was a previous resistance that could act as current support. We have another previous resistance that could have a support level that could still hold, and another support level that could also still hold down here, right? So when I see price begin to trade below, break through this zone and give me a retest, it's going to confirm to me that USD CAD is going to be selling downward. Then my stop loss could be somewhere around here, and I target a quick sell into, let's get the specific price point as well, 1.38446. Provided my confirmational bias is met. Then I'll be taking the quick sell of USD CAD into the zone, and my price eventually trades into this level and begins to give me even more confirmations that the buy is about to resume. What will I be doing? I will be also taking that buy. This strategy is called the all-weather strategy, and I say that because I believe it is suited or it is suitable for every market condition. And if you want to learn this, just enroll for our Ultimate Traders course coming up next month. Okay, Now let's move to, the other buyers I was speaking on. Break below retest, I sell in here. Confirmational buyers met, I continue to buy. So what I'm seeing on USD CAD is I'm seeing a temporal sell to buy. That is my buyers on USD CAD. And I've also called out certain level points that I'm currently watching out for. Moving into the next asset class, which is NZD/USD, what do we see? Now you see that NZD/USD has been consecutively breaking structures for a while. It has now traded into a key support level. So NZD/USD rather is going to start to buy. Looking at the 4-hour time frame as well, Sunshine has been printed. Profit taking as well, yeah. So I expect a temporal buy on NZD/USD. A temporal buy into what level? POI1 on the 1-hour time frame is 0.57949. POI2 is 0.58282, and the third point of interest is 0.59260. These are the 3 levels that I'm watching out for NZD/USD to give me a temporal buy, and then either hit resistance, continue to sell, or break through and form a new direction. Yeah. Moving to a 5-minute time frame, what do we see? Same thing we did on USD CAD, very repetitive. Yesterday's low, which is basically Friday. Friday's low marked out, Thursday's low marked out, Friday's high marked out, and Thursday's high also marked out. These are now my support and resistance levels. You see how price came. If we were early to the chart, you see how we could have gotten something from the market already. Price came to retest day before yesterday's low, and it has already done what? 25 pips. Give me this day my daily bread. So looking at this now, if it's either price is going to continue to sell from here because it already ticked into a key point of interest. So except to say retracement opportunity, they will continue to sell NZD/USD. Now, does that mean NZD/USD will not retrace? No, it could retrace back into this zone, or this zone, this or this. Very, very likely. But we're just saying that a key POI has already been activated and it is starting to buy, but it is now back into that support level. So this support level could still push it back up to give us even more retracements into our points of interest. So again, recap, what am I seeing on NZD/USD? NZD/USD is predominantly down, following these structures that have been printed for a while. And I'm expecting temporal buy into these zones to either continue to sell or price breaks through and a new structure point is formed. What makes us pick a bias when we see our confirmations? So yes, if you've been joining these market color sessions for a while, it is great. If you want to take it to the next level, send us a message on our WhatsApp line 081 60 99 50 30. Let us get you on board so you can learn this thing the right way. Okay. So AUD/USD, which is the final asset class as regards the commodity currencies we'll be looking at this morning. What am I saying? Predominantly up, minor structure is currently breaking downward. Sunshine has been printed. Our Dutch structure also broke onto the downside. So because of this, I expect a temporal as well on AUD/USD from here into the zone, or the zone. But these are the 5-minute levels that we marked. So let's look at the 1-hour time frame first. The 1-hour POI is 0.69300. 0.70161, 0.7470 are my 1-hour points of interest. So watch out for these levels, right? Now, 5-minute time frame. These are the levels I'm watching out for. Take note of them as well. These are 0.68652, 0.68760, 0.69084, and finally 0.69541. Let us see what this market presents. So take note of this levels. You can take pictures if you want to, and we'll reconvene to see how they play out. But before that session, we are going to be sending live market color markups to the market color group should we see certain confirmations on our chat. So make sure you have that group pinned. Without taking too much more of your time, I believe this has been very helpful to at least one person, and if it has, awesome. You can just leave a comment for us in the chat box. All right. Okay. So again, thank you so much for joining. I look forward to seeing you in the next session. Tell a friend to join the BFT Market Color session. Okay. Have an amazing week. Cheers and God bless.